There is a number. You don't know what it is yet. Nobody tells you. There's no letter, no meeting, no moment where someone sits you down and explains the rules. You just live your life and slowly notice that the bank is behaving differently, that the hold times got shorter, that the fees stopped appearing, that someone is calling you now instead of the other way around. The number is your balance, and the bank has been reading it the entire time. This is what nobody explains when you open your first account. The institution that hands you a debit card and a welcome pamphlet is not treating every customer the same way. It is sorting them, quietly, automatically, into tiers that determine how long you wait, how much you pay, who picks up the phone, and whether anyone in that building knows your name. Here is what that sorting actually looks like, from the bottom to the top, from the person staring at a minus sign to the person the bank flies out to have dinner with. 0, the minus sign. It starts with something small. A $6 charge you forgot was scheduled. A subscription you meant to cancel. The account dips below 0 and the bank sees it immediately. Not a person, the system. And the system has one response. $35. The fee for being broke is that you become more broke. The penalty arrives within hours. Then another charge processes while the balance is still negative. Another $35. The math compounds in a direction you didn't choose. You call to explain. The hold music runs for 20 minutes. A voice answers and reads from something that was written before you called, before anyone knew your name, before anyone knew your situation. Fees cannot be reversed at this time. You go into the branch. The teller looks at her screen. Her face doesn't change, exactly, but something in the energy of the interaction shifts, and you feel yourself become a category instead of a person, a risk profile, a flag, a file with a balance problem. Nobody is cruel. That's the part that takes the longest to process. Nobody raises their voice or says anything unkind. They are simply indifferent in a way so complete that it lands on you like something worse than rudeness. Rudeness at least acknowledges you're there. You leave without saying everything you came to say, because somewhere between the overdraft and the hold music and the teller's screen, you stopped feeling like a customer and started feeling like a problem the bank was managing. $500. Treading water, you pulled it back. Overtime, skipped lunches, a week of saying no to things that cost money. The balance is positive now. Stable, you did the work that nobody clapped for. The maintenance fee still hits. $12, sometimes $15, pulled from the account without a notification. The minimum balance to avoid it is $1,500. You don't have $1,500, so the fee exists. You are paying a bank every month to hold the money you barely have, and the bank considers this a fair arrangement. You apply for a credit card. They offer you a secured one. You deposit $300 of your own money. They lend it back and charge you 24% for access to funds that were yours to begin with. You read the offer twice because you want to make sure you're understanding it correctly. You are. The branch teller processes your transaction in 40 seconds. No warmth, no small talk. The person in front of you got a full conversation. The person behind you will get one too. Your 40 seconds exist in the middle, functional and invisible, the space between two interactions that actually mattered to the person performing them. You are not disrespected at $500. You are not seen. $3,000. The system notices. Something changes, and you almost miss it. The maintenance fee disappears. Not because you asked, not because you negotiated. Your direct deposit has been hitting consistently for 6 months, and the system recognized a pattern it values. The fee that quietly drained your account for years just stopped existing because your behavior now matches a profile that earns the bank money. The credit card offers start arriving in the mail. Real ones, not secured. Actual cards with limits and rewards programs, and your name printed clearly across the front. The same institution that offered you a secured card 8 months ago is now mailing you pre-approval letters. Pre-approved. The word implies you became someone different overnight. You didn't. The number did. You apply for a small personal loan. It goes through. The rate is decent. The process worked the way the commercials always said it would, and that itself feels strange, because for a long time it didn't. The teller says good morning before you reach the counter. Not warmth. Exactly. Recognition. A professional acknowledgement that you exist as a customer rather than a problem. It's a small thing. It shouldn't feel like progress. It does. You understand something now that you couldn't see from below. The bank doesn't dislike you when you're struggling. The bank just processes you based on your tier. And at $3,000, your tier just became worth something to the machine. $15,000. A phone call you didn't expect. You're looking at your account on a Tuesday morning, and a call comes in. Not a spam number. The bank. Not automated. A person. Someone with a title. He introduces himself twice and gives you a direct line. An actual number where an actual human answers. He wants to schedule time to talk about your goals, your savings timeline, whether you've thought about a CD or a money market account. The same institution that had you on hold for 40 minutes is now dialing your number first. The credit limit on your card increased without you requesting it. The interest rate on your next loan drops noticeably. You mention a fee on your statement in an email. 3 hours later, it's reversed. No forms, no phone tree, no script, just a reply that says it's been taken care of. The fees that once felt permanent turn out to have always been optional. The system didn't change its rules. Your tier moved you to a different set of them. You walk into the branch, and the interaction feels different, not dramatic. Subtle, the energy doesn't shift when you approach the counter. You aren't moved through like luggage. You're a customer now, a real one, the kind the bank is trying to retain. You realize something that nobody puts in a pamphlet. The bank wasn't treating you badly when you were broke. The bank was treating you accurately, based on what your account represented to the institution's revenue model. And at $15,000, your account represents something worth a phone call and a reverse fee and a name they remember. You're not respected at $15,000. You're profitable. The bank has learned that these feel similar enough that most people don't notice the difference. $80,000. The rope line. There is a section of the branch you didn't know existed. Not a different building. The same building. A different door. A different waiting area. A nameplate on a desk instead of a number in a queue. Someone stands up when you walk in. Not a teller. A relationship banker. He guides you past the rope line where everyone else waits. The same line you stood in for years. The line you didn't think about because you were inside it. The mortgage pre-approval arrives before you've decided to buy a house. The bank determined what you could afford and sent you the paperwork proactively because they want the loan before you've even chosen a property. The deal is being offered to you instead of the other way around. A competitor calls. They want your business. Better savings rates, lower loan terms. You mention it to your banker. He calls back within an hour with a counteroffer. The institution that once put you on hold until you hung up is now competing to keep your account. The price of money got cheaper without you negotiating for it. The rate you would have paid 2 balance levels ago dropped simply because you stopped looking like a risk on paper. Nobody taught you this was happening. Nobody announced it. The system just adjusted. At $80,000, the bank sees you as worth defending. Not worth knowing, worth defending. The distinction matters more than it sounds. $500,000. The consultation. The bank stops being a place you go. It becomes a service that moves toward you. The wealth management team sends someone to your office. He brings printed reports in a folder. He sits across from you and asks about your goals, your estate planning, your tax structure, your timeline. The conversation lasts over an hour. At the end, he doesn't push anything. He leaves a card and says he'll follow up. The selling already happened. You just didn't feel it. Because at this level, the bank has learned that the most effective form of selling is to make you feel like a peer. A wire transfer freezes. You call. Someone picks up on the second ring. No hold music. No transfers. The problem resolves in a single conversation. The same issue would have taken 3 hours and 4 departments at $500. An invitation arrives. A private dinner. 8 clients. A speaker. A view. Nobody mentions money the entire evening because money is the reason everyone is in the room, and the bank knows that stating the obvious is for people who don't trust the relationship. You are not a customer at $500,000. You are an asset the bank protects, and assets get treated differently than customers because assets can leave, and leaving has a dollar figure attached to it, and that dollar figure has someone's name next to it in a performance review. $5 million to $15 million. Private banking. This is where the rules stop applying and the relationship begins. Your private banker manages fewer than 20 accounts. Yours is one of them. He knows the names of your children. He remembers details from conversations that happened months ago, not because of memory, because of notes he takes after every call, because keeping you means something to his career. The interest rate on your mortgage isn't published anywhere. It's discussed. The investment minimums on private deals get waived when the relationship justifies it. Paperwork that takes a regular customer 2 weeks gets handled in days because someone was told whose account it belongs to. You walk into a branch you've never visited, and they know your name before you hand over an ID. The system has flagged your profile across every location, not because of fame, because of position. You exist in a tier that generates automatic priority. There is a conference room with no logo on the door. The table is one piece of wood. The deal being discussed won't appear on any public prospectus. The room only gets unlocked when the relationship justifies it. You are in the room. That is the thing the bank is communicating without saying it. At $15 million, the bank doesn't just respond to you. The bank consults you. A senior officer calls to ask what you'd want from the next generation of private client services. You are being asked to help design the product. The institution that once charged you $35 for a $4 mistake is now asking your opinion on how to run itself. You are the same person at every balance, the same history, the same name, the same mind that figured out how to pull the account from negative and keep it there through weeks of quiet, unremarkable discipline that nobody acknowledged. The bank doesn't know that story. The bank doesn't read stories. The bank reads numbers. And numbers don't explain how you got there or what it cost you to stay. Somewhere tonight, someone is staring at a minus sign. $4, a charge they forgot. The fee will hit before morning. They'll call, and the music will loop, and the voice that answers won't have been told their name. They'll walk out of the branch, feeling like something they can't put words to yet. They don't know that the same system currently processing their overdraft fee is the same system that will one day send a person to their office with printed reports and a leather folder and 90 minutes of undivided attention. The system isn't broken. The system is working exactly the way it was designed. The bank doesn't change at every level. The bank just finally shows you what it always was.